Hi there. Welcome to the How to Market Your Horse Business podcast. My name is Denise Alvarez, and I am so glad you're here with me today. Now, just a bit about myself before we jump into today's episode, which I'm very excited about because I have a special guest for you. I do like to just share a bit about myself in case we're new friends. So, as I said, Denise Alvarez is my name, and through my business, Storm Lily Marketing, I get to help horse business owners like you turn your website visitors into your customers. I do that through a few different ways, including coaching, website design and content, email marketing strategy, and my monthly membership called Social Stride. I do each of these things because I truly do want to help you as a horse business owner be out with the horses, right? Doing what you enjoy most and the reason you started your business in the first place. So I get that not everybody loves marketing. And maybe you're here because you know you need to, but you don't really love it. So I'm glad you're here because my goal is to break marketing down to make it easy and doable, to give you some step-by-step strategies and basic how-tos so that you can not only see what's possible for your horse business, but also to guide you through that process and make it happen. And so today we're going to specifically talk about how you can market your membership. Now, before you say, Denise, I don't have a membership, first, let's talk about how they're becoming so popular because I would not be surprised if you started one of your own. And secondly, even if you're thinking, I'm never going to have a membership, I promise that what Annie has to share with us today on the podcast is really going to help you in your business marketing, okay? So, more and more, we are seeing memberships pop up in the world of horses. No matter your discipline, I guarantee you there is somebody that has a private membership. Maybe it's just a private Facebook group and people have to pay to be a member of that. Perhaps it's a pre-recorded video library where you or an expert has recorded some instructional videos and somebody is paying a monthly amount to be able to access that. That is a membership, right? Or maybe it's just on-demand education. Maybe it's more than just a video, or it's a combination. Or perhaps you've gone the route of Patreon, which is a really popular way for people to charge a little bit per month and provide some exclusive content. And that, my friend, is still just like having a membership. So the premise here is that someone is paying a monthly amount to you, to your business, for access to education, to information, or to you personally and your expertise. Now, again, you may be listening and you may already have one of these now that you've heard me talk about it. Or maybe you've considered one, but you haven't really jumped on it yet. So you're just kind of interested in the topic. I would actually love to know where you land on this. So if you would, send me a message on Instagram, Storm Lily Marketing, or shoot me an email anytime, denise@stormlily.com. Let me know. Do you have a membership? Have you considered one? What's keeping you from doing it? And if you do have one, tell me about it, okay? I want to hear about it because like I said, it's a really great way for you to have some additional revenue for your business, for you to also expand your reach and your message. So maybe somebody that lives across the country would join your membership, but they can't quite drive cross country to attend one of your clinics, right? So it really has a lot of great benefits. But this episode, it's not about the benefits of a membership. Maybe we'll do that in a future one. Instead, this episode is about how you can market your membership. Okay, so let me tell you just a bit about Annie because that's exactly why I've invited her onto this podcast today is to talk about marketing memberships. Now, Annie, I actually met when we were both on a panel a couple of months ago all about podcasting at an American Horse Publications conference. It was super fun. I was super honored to be on the panel. And Annie has a podcast of her own, which you will hear about in this interview. But as I visited with her and I learned what some of her other roles are at the Equine Network, I immediately thought of you, my horse business owner friends, because Annie is the person who oversees marketing for digital marketing for their subscription video on demand. They have a number of those at the Equine Network. So it's not just one that she oversees the digital marketing for. So you may have heard of Horse and Rider on Demand. that falls under them, as well as Dressage Today. They have an on-demand program, and the new breakawayroping.com, just to name a few, but she'll share about some of these as well. But as I learned about her role there, I thought of you all, and I know that she would have some insights that you could learn from, and she does. And so I am really excited for you all to meet her here today. Now, as I said, whether you have a membership or not, I want you to listen. Number one, Annie is lovely. You're going to love to meet her, but also the things that she's sharing. Yes, she may be specifically giving examples about memberships, but if you will listen through the filter of your own business, the things that she's sharing about really can apply to your marketing. So do still listen in. And if you've been considering a membership, definitely listen in, and especially if you have one. All right. Okay. That's enough of that. Let's head into my interview with Annie Kennedy. Okay, Annie, thank you so much for being here today. I really, really appreciate your willingness to jump on.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Denise.
You bet. So before we get into memberships and marketing and all the good stuff, I'd love first for my audience just to get to know you and get to know a little bit of your background. So share with us, I shared in the intro your role, your technical role as consumer marketing manager at the Equine Network, but share a little bit A, about what that means, and B, about how you got there, because not only do you do that, but you also host a podcast as well. And then share, I'm sure you'll share that a part of that means that you're helping to market the different learning platforms that you all have there. So go ahead and give us some of your background and share a little bit about what you're doing now.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I'll start at the very beginning. So I'm from Fairbanks, Alaska, born and raised. And surprisingly, there's a really big horse community there, especially for youth. So I first got involved in 4-H with the barn that I was taking lessons at as a young kid. And then I really fell in love with eventing and joined Pony Club. So that's where I really hit my stride, was in Pony Club. And I loved it. I totally thrived under that sort of leadership. When I was in high school, I decided that I wanted to do pre-vet and I wanted to study equine studies. So I looked at Colorado State University and just fell in love with it, fell in love with Colorado. It's a nice little stepping stone from Alaska. And so I started out pre-vet and equine sciences with a minor in business administration. And then as I was getting through some of my prerequisite classes, I really decided that vet school wasn't for me. And I was feeling a little bit lost in where to go in the industry because, I had always been like, I want to be a horse veterinarian. Like, that is exactly what I wanted to do. And I was really, really fortunate at CSU to have an awesome advisor. And he knew how much I enjoyed writing and marketing and really, really liking my business classes for my minor, and got me in touch actually with Equine Network and encouraged me to apply for their equine digital internship. And I interviewed, got the internship, and really, really opened my eyes to multimedia and marketing in the equine industry, which I really, really didn't know a lot about, and just completely fell in love with it. Loved the people that I was working with. Obviously, my mentors were amazing, but then really just helping the industry, reach different individuals and, show how amazing and incredible the whole equine community is, and getting to market that. So I completed that internship, had a really great time, graduated from college, went to go work for a Western clothing company and then a breed association. And then Equine Network actually contacted me back and said they had a role that they thought I'd be good at. And that was their email marketing coordinator. And so I started as an email marketing coordinator and really thrived in that. Just email makes so much sense to me. And I just really, really enjoy communicating with people that way. So just completely thrived. And during my time as the email marketing coordinator, podcasts are really starting to hit their stride. And so we had a team meeting on, what should we do for a really cool podcast in the equine industry. And we were supposed to bring like a couple ideas to this brainstorm and just hash out some cool things for our brands to do. And I brought the idea of doing product reviews in audio format. So like you are always reading reviews before you buy a product. As consumers, you want to be informed. You want to know how people are actually using these products in their everyday life, like what they look like, how they're using them. And I was like, what a great way to, get another sort of medium out there in podcasts. So I presented that idea, and everyone around the table was like really excited, and they were like, okay, great, like you do that. And I was like, all right, here we go. And that's how Ask Annie got started. And like that, it has just been such a fun part of my job. And the Ask Annie podcast I take horse products from different companies. I try them out in my everyday horse life. I use them in my barn on my horses, on myself if they're apparel type of things, and then report back on how they were and what I liked about them and some really unique features. And it's really, really cool. And I totally enjoy it as a part of my role. So that's Ask Annie. Then my current role, like you said, is the consumer marketing manager. And that in that role, I handle the logistics and marketing for all of our subscription video platforms. So Horse and Rider on Demand, Dressage Today on Demand, Practical Horseman on Demand, roping.com, breakawayroping.com, and barrelracing.com. And I really, I grew a lot in my email marketing coordinator role. And then in one of my previous jobs, I did work with members and, getting memberships. So it was really a great natural flow for me to go into this role. And I absolutely love it. So that's it in a nutshell.
That's awesome. I love that. First of all, I had no idea you're from Alaska. That's kind of cool. That's on a bucket list for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's really neat. But that's so interesting too, knowing your background in those things, and it kind of feeds into what you're doing now, and that you're getting to, like you said, that's a lot of memberships. Like really,
it is.
That's a lot. So that is super impressive. So as we know, for the Equine Network, you all have been continually building on your platform of, did you call it a membership? You call it a video learning platform? What do you guys call it?
We call it subscription video on demand. So membership platforms.
Yeah. Okay. Which, all right. So that's interesting. But either way, we know that in the equine world, online memberships and online learning is continually growing, as you just shared with some of yours. And then even for people that are, I don't want to say just, but like you all are a network, you're a large company, but even for, horse trainers, that I have a client that's a horse trainer and breeder, and they have an online membership for their community, and it is their company. Like it's her and her husband, and it's expanded their reach quite a bit. It's allowing them to reach more people in a different way. And they have wait lists for their training and wait lists for their lessons. And so this was a new way for them to be able to do that. And so horse businesses of all size, disciplines, breeds are really getting the opportunity to use these online platforms to reach more people, and in the end, help more horses and help more riders, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I love that you said that, because I really feel like online learning has, been really growing in the past at least like 10 years. I took like math in college online, and, math isn't really one of my strong suits, but, I learned how to do it online. So I feel like we've all been kind of acclimated to online learning. And so it's just makes it so accessible for individuals to access information. And in any format, so like math or training or, whatever you want to learn in, there's usually some sort of online platform for it.
Yeah. Accessibility. That's such a great word. Yeah. Because it even, especially when you look at the ones you all are doing, it's giving the everyday horse person access to the pros, right? And the discipline that they're most interested in. So that's awesome. All right. So we agree it's a great way to connect, and it's educating and it's bringing them right in. So, and then of course, for a lot of horse businesses and for you all, it's also, we are businesses. It's an additional source of revenue. And that can become, a big part of your business. So therefore, I asked you to come on to share just some of the ideas because you are part of logistics and marketing, not part of, you are logistics and marketing for your platforms there. And so I asked you to come on and just share some ideas and tips and strategies that I think my audience of horse business owners are really going to be able to take and apply in their own businesses. Again, regardless of the size of membership, we're constantly looking to expand our reach and not only grow, but make up for lost memberships and things like that. So marketing is a part of that. So what are some strategies or tips that you have implemented there that you think have been helpful or successful for you?
Yeah, well, and I think we've talked about this a little bit earlier, but the goal of all of our platforms is to connect riders and horse lovers with trainers and experts and professionals that they might not have the opportunity to ride with in other circumstances. So really just trying to help the community as a whole grow. And something that has been really successful for us and is totally hitting its stride in the equine industry and just in the marketing world as a whole is authenticity. We see it everywhere. And it's something that we in the Equine Network and with these memberships really, really try to utilize is that we are horse people behind these brands. And so are our coaches. Everyone has goals, everyone has struggles in their riding. And we really try to make it a safe space to talk and learn about the struggles that you're having. And then, discussing how our coaches ultimately help solve these struggles. So really trying to help people overcome and reach the goals that they want to reach. So the whole goal of our sites is obviously to make that connection with people within the industry, whether it be like another member on the platform or the coach that you're learning from. We want to make that connection and want to help people grow. And we really, really try to make specific marketing pieces for our individual coaches. So we show that they're human. We show that, this is where they started and this is where they are now. And these are their accolades. And these are some of the struggles that they face. We make all of our pros, specific landing pages and promo codes, and really try to allow our members to have access and feel like they are a part of this community and that our pros are there with them. They're alongside them. They're invested in their goals. So I think, wrapping it all up, just making people realize and helping people understand that we're all horse people. At the end of the day, we all just want to be better with our horses. And so, we're just that middleman between our professionals and the consumer. So.
Sure. Oh, I love that though. That is totally not where I thought you were going to start. So I love that so much. But even like as tactical as saying like, yes, the authenticity. And then where does that bleed into? Well, you're having a specific landing page for each pro. Super cool.
Yeah.
That they each have their own place to send their audience to learn about the program and why they're there. But like you said, to learn about their struggles and their goals and how they accomplish them. And so for horse business owners that are listening, you may or may not have multiple coaches or instructors as part of your program. It may just be you. But what you can take away from that is that you need to be the one that's being authentic along the way, right? You're the expert. Absolutely. They're paying because you're the expert. But at the same time, you want to remind them that you're human too. And you understand where they are. You've been there too. And you can kind of help them along in that process. So that's super, super good. I love that.
Good. Perfect. Yeah. I totally think that's amazing. Just, letting people know that you're human too, whether if it's your business, like you said, or, you're marketing other individuals, just, showing that humanity, I think really goes a long way with people.
You bet. Yeah. What else do you have?
And so my next tip has to do with my previous role in email marketing. And I'm sure like every consumer, you get a lot of emails in your inbox and some are really specific to what you want. And others you're like, well, I don't really know why I got that. So one of the things that we do for email marketing with our memberships is really try to reach groups and segmented lists of individuals that are really curious about our content. So we have this area on the website that contain free playlists for all of our SVODs and really it's an opportunity for individuals to, really get a taste of what we have to offer without, having to subscribe. So it's really just some of our good content. It's a small chunk, but, really kind of gives you a taste of what we have. And so we utilize that in our email marketing by really highlighting a topic that's really important at the moment. So, for example, we have roping.com, which is for team ropers. And there's this really, really big event coming up in December for team ropers. And so we have content specifically made to try and help you be better at that big event. So what we do is highlight one of those topics in our emails, send it to our list of team ropers and say, hey, are you headed to this event? Here's some things our coaches, really think would be helpful for you to implement into your training regimen. And so then we either offer one of those videos for free, or you do have to purchase the subscription in order to access the videos. But it really just, the whole concept of email marketing is to really get the people, contact the people that are really interested in your product. So, sending to a ginormous list isn't necessarily the best tactic when only a small handful of those individuals are wanting to get your product. So we specifically find our team ropers and we send them information about roping.com. So if I guess that's two parts, but having a little segment of free information just so that people can really get a taste of what you're doing. And then when you're using email marketing and that content, really hit individuals that might have some interest in your product. It's not helpful for us to send a team roper dressage content, but we know a dressage rider will love dressage content. So only send the dressage rider dressage content. So
okay, perfect.
That's my second tip.
I love that. Segmented email marketing is key. And for a lot of people, maybe something they haven't quite thought about that they could do that. So there are, depending on what your email marketing system is, but there are some really easy ways that you can do that too. Just for those that are listening, they're saying, okay, what does that look like on a practical level? If you're using something like MailChimp or MailerLite, you can tag people. So you can tag them based on their interests. So perhaps you are a horse trainer or you're a lesson instructor, then you can segment your list depending on their interest or even their age or different things like that, or the discipline that they're interested in. And you can just do that by tagging people, or even in an email. You can ask it like a 3-part question, right? You can say,
yes,
in your email to everybody, you ask a question, and then when they answer, then automatically you can say, when they click this link in the email, then it applies a tag. And then there you go. You've segmented your list.
Yes. I love that you said that, because segmentation can sound so daunting, but it really can just be, like getting survey answers and, seeing what people are doing and how they're behaving with your surveys, and then segmenting accordingly. Like, it really doesn't have to be this huge, scary thing. And you don't have to start off with, that segmentation, but just learn from your contacts what they want and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. I love that. Okay. What else do you have for us?
Yeah. So my third tip has to do with social media. We are always on our phones. We have all the social apps on our phones. And the main point of social media is to interact with the community. And so our social media specialist has really garnered that community feel. So really trying to open up discussions and see what people are thinking about the content that we're doing. And then really just getting involved in current events that are happening. We had one of our coaches on Practical Horseman On Demand recently won a big event. And so we did a whole congratulatory post about him, and he saw it, or he probably saw it, and our members saw that he won. And so it's another way to just interact with the community and just show that we are really all connected that way. Another cool thing that we do is we have private groups for most of our memberships. So for example, in roping.com, some of our coaches are in that private group. And so our individuals, our members, join the group and can actually interact with the coaches that are in the group. So they can attach a video and say, and I'm really having trouble with this and this and this. What do you think? And our coaches will comment back and, help them out. And again, just coming full circle on the community of these platforms and, getting through the struggles and achieving goals together.
Okay. I was going to ask about that. So when you say private groups, do you mean private Facebook groups? Or do you guys have like a separate? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
No, we use private Facebook groups.
Okay. Which I know is pretty common nowadays for private communities to then just do Facebook groups, because that's where a lot of people already are. So they're not having to do a separate login or anything like that. Of course, you have to then manage when people leave or join and that type of thing.
Right.
So that can be a little bit much, but definitely it creates that community atmosphere. So is there anything on social media that you all do in particular to promote your memberships that might be a little bit different or unique to you?
Yeah. So a couple of things on social media that we do to help promote, as a consumer, I know I get sick of seeing things that are like, buy now, join today, like all of those really specific call to actions that are just like purchase, purchase, purchase. And so what we try to do on social is really show the value within the membership. So it's not necessarily saying like, you can get a discounted offer when you join today. Like, we do very few of those. We really show like, are you having trouble with lead changes? Here are 3 things that our coaches have to say about lead changes. And so not necessarily pushing down the consumer's throats that they need to buy the product right now, but showing the value of the product in order to achieve the purchase, I guess is what I'm saying. So really showing what we have to offer and why it can help you. And then seeing like, oh yeah, this really does fit into my equestrian life and into my training regimen. I'm going to join this because I want to achieve and listen to the things that these individuals are having to say. So I would say like selling the product is really important, obviously. But showing the value that is within the product is something that we really, really try to hit home on social.
That's super, super good. And it lines up exactly with what we've talked about here on the podcast before with just in general marketing with social media, is that serving more than you sell, right? And so what you just said is you're serving, but as you're doing that, you're building awareness, because it's not like you never mention it. You just don't mention it in the way of just selling it. It's a part of that content that initially is giving them value. Do you guys have, I know lots of people do it differently. Do you all have open enrollment year round? Do you have certain times where enrollment is open, or how does that work? Is it the same for all of your platforms?
It is. Yeah. So we are always open for new members, and we're always releasing new content. All of our brands release at least 2 new videos a week, and some are more. And so some, for Horse and Rider on Demand, for example, that covers the whole Western discipline spectrum. So we'll release a cutting video, a barrel racing video, a horsemanship video, and a trail video, for example, all in 1 week. So really trying to, help people, whatever path you're on Horse and Rider on Demand, there's something that's new and upcoming for you. The other ones are a little bit more specific. So, we'll release 2 new team roping videos and 2 new breakaway roping videos on those platforms. But we are always open, always releasing new content. So anyone is welcome all the time.
Okay. That's super good to know. Okay. Is there anything else? These have been super helpful. And I know that from listening, everybody's going to then go online. And so we'll tell in just a minute where they can go to go find out what it looks like and how you guys market your memberships. But is there anything else that you think my listeners that are horse business owners that are very likely to have a membership platform of their own? Is there anything else you think they should know about marketing their membership?
Yeah, I would say just my advice is to find where your expertise fits. If there's a need for something, go there, immerse yourself in the industry, go to events, listen to what your members are saying. It was kind of what we were talking about in email marketing. Listen to what people want from you and take in that feedback and make your platform better. Sometimes campaigns that you think are going to be really successful aren't as successful as you think they should be. And then other ones that you have don't have any hope and are just like, well, let's try this, thrive. So really listen to what your audience wants and go from there. Don't keep, just going down a checklist of things. Adapt to what the consumers want and need, and build your platform and your marketing off of that. Learn from your discoveries, there's a lot of different options in the industry. So really finding where your business fits, I think is critical.
Oh, that's super good. And honestly, it's funny because I have a membership, but wasn't even thinking about this when I invited you onto this. But as you said that, and you're saying, listen to what people want from you, that's the entire reason that I started my monthly membership, which is called Social Stride. And I was doing a 5-day marketing challenge. And in that, people kept asking for more help on the social marketing side or social media marketing, when I really thought I was there to help them with the email marketing. But they were like,
right,
really getting hung up on social. And so I ended up creating a membership where every month they get free caption templates to use in their social media. They get an equine calendar. And then we have a monthly group coaching call where I answer their other marketing questions or teach them different strategies and things like that. But that only came about, like my intention wasn't even to start a membership. And that only came about because I was listening to the people that were a part of that challenge. So that is super good advice.
I love that. I love that real life application. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Annie, thank you again. Tell everybody where they can find you online, which of course I will throw all the links to whatever you mentioned into our show notes at stormlily.com/58 for episode 58. But go ahead and tell them, for those who aren't going to jump online and they just want to go straight to the podcast or straight to Facebook or Instagram, where can they connect with you?
Perfect. Yeah. So I'll start with the podcast. So Ask Annie Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, just at Ask Annie Podcast. And then for the 6 different membership platforms that we have right now, Horse and Rider On Demand is ondemand.horseandrider.com. Dressage Today On Demand is ondemand.dressagetoday.com. Practical Horseman On Demand is practicalhorsemanondemand.com. Roping.com, breakawayroping.com, and barrelracing.com can all be found at those addresses. And then all of them are on Facebook and Instagram using their names as their handles. So
okay, great. Yep. So I know that's a lot for everybody. So I will definitely have that in the show notes. And then you can check out the ones that are most interesting to you, or think that maybe that you can learn the most from, or you're just, very curious how they're doing things. So I always think it's so good to just learn from other people. And again, I just appreciate your candidness and willingness to share with us today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me, Denise.
You bet. Thanks, Annie. Okay, what did I tell you? Isn't Annie awesome? I hope that you really were able to make some notes and some takeaways. And of course, as I promised, if you head over to stormlily.com/58, I will have all the links so you can connect with her and learn more about her and listen to her podcast as well. And I will also have the highlights of what she talked about today. So make sure you jump over there. I will also have one more thing for you there. As you heard me mention, my Social Stride membership is right now, as of this publishing date, the doors are closed, right? So I only open the doors a few times a year, 2 or 3 times a year, intentionally, so that I can really focus on serving my members instead of constantly welcoming in new members. I want people to really get in and then dive in. And so I want to let you know that come January, I am going to be open the doors again, and I would love to invite you in. So I have a link there at the show notes as well, or you can just go to stormlily.com/social stride, and you can join the wait list so that you'll be the first to know. And of course, it depends on when you're listening to this episode. So if it is the first part of January, you might jump over there and find that you can actually jump in and join. So either way, I would love to have you. And either way, I want you to jump to those show notes so you can also meet Annie. Okay. All right. I'm so grateful you joined me here on the podcast. I hope it's been so helpful. And truly, if you have people that you would like to hear interviewed here on the podcast, please feel free to send me a note. I'm absolutely open to ideas. I love hearing from you. So you can find me on Instagram, Storm Lily Marketing, or you can send me an email, denise@stormlily.com. And if you're not following the podcast yet on your favorite podcast player, make sure you do that as well so that you get those notifications as soon as there is a new episode available for you. Okay? All right, friends, that's all I've got for you today. I'm so grateful you're here, and I will see you again next week with a fresh new episode. Until then, have an awesome day.